All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm saying it 5 times. All right. Number 5, y'all. Here we are. David Chaos and PTFI funking around. And not necessarily in that order, but that's what we're doing. We are funking
Exactly.
around. Yes, man. Today's episode is brought to you by. It is brought to you by.
PTFI and David Chaos.
Oh, okay. Yes, I was waiting for you to say something. Throw something in the
Ain't
mix
got
for
no
me.
sponsors yet.
No, man. Not yet, man. So
Nobody trying to sponsor this one, boy. I'll make
that's
sure of that.
now this one's gonna be an interesting one, man.
Straight
Cause
organic with it.
and and me personally, I might be in the minority of this, but I don't, man. I done been around the sun 60 some odd times. I really don't care if I'm in the minority at this point. So, but that's what's gonna make it a good discussion because I know how you feel on it, and you starting to see how I'm rocking the roll with it. So, yeah, man. This one is gonna be called the evolution of AI music, a music evolution of AI, however you want to quote it. Woo. But you know what? I tell you this, it's gonna be fun. Whatever we do, we always put a flip on it and we make it fun, man. So yeah, I want to start if it's all right with you. And I see your hand. Oh, is that my hand being raised? Oh yeah, yeah, that's
Where's
my
the
hand.
balloons?
Oh, I don't know. Let's try to do the balloons. Was it this? I think it was the peace sign. There you go. Yeah,
I still got to
man.
do my settings because
Yeah.
it ain't happening for me. I
We'll,
guess
we'll,
I don't exist in the digital world yet. It ain't
uh,
recognizing nothing I do.
yes, you do. We'll get into that a little later, though. You could deny all you want, man, but we
Oh boy.
we are deeper than the Matrix. It's 2025, allegedly, and that's another whole story. But we're gonna keep it
Yeah.
kind of light and just really focus on AI in the music and the evolution of it and how it has went from, I would say, just the sampling, if you will. Some may debate that, but to turntablism, to samplingism, to the whole MIDI evolution of musical instrument digital interface. Think about that. MIDI. You remember MIDI back in the days, Tom?
Yep. I couldn't stand it, but yeah.
Oh, man, so you've been one of those against this technology
Man,
evolution,
yeah,
haven't you?
you know me. You know me. Even when it came to DJing, I still don't have Serato and virtual
Oh,
DJ. I'm
okay.
too turntable. I just got CDJs. Well, not just, but that's as far as I got.
Okay. And,
I just use them as standalone. See, yeah,
uh-huh.
I'm one of them.
So you're gonna enjoy this episode, dear, because I'll be saying a whole bunch of stuff you don't like. So that's okay. That's
Nah, nah. See, that's where you see you don't know me with AI yet. See,
okay. Well, let's get it.
it's yeah. Let's get into it because
Let's get
to
into
me
it.
it's just like when electronics, like when the electric guitar came and just changed the whole guitar world. And a lot of guitarists did not like the fact that the guitar was electric or the bass, especially the bass. If you didn't have a stand-up bass, you wasn't a bass player. It was this electric bass stuff.
Hey, so I agree wholeheartedly. So I'm going to kind of start at the end, but then work our way back to the beginning.
Yeah, that's cool.
This in 2024, I did like 3 projects, man, and kind of just put them out because I was just feeling the music. I had just relocated,
Oh,
or not relocated, but I
I
had
saw that on
located.
YouTube.
Yeah, man, it's I, I'm I don't want to say I'm totally embracing AI, but I'm not going to be that person to run from it or say it ain't happening and I ain't gonna touch it or try to figure out how they doing stuff. So I'm just gonna play a little something, and then we'll be right back on this. Let me see. You know me, it'll be blasting. I don't want to be.
He don't even hear me.
What you say?
Look at the screen.
Oh, what you say? I can't. I can't
I was
hear.
telling the folks, I was telling folks out there, he embraces it.
Oh, that not
Tell me the truth.
wait a minute, not fully. And I'm gonna get into that. What I mean by that. So I'm gonna play a little something
Man,
for you, man. And you know what? The sample troll algorithm, have at it if you will, because I'm about to make it sound different than what's available on Apple Music. So here we go.
Seeing it me, it had to be so. Now pay attention that your funkin' flow with an everlasting bodily motion, like a river to a stream to an entire ocean. So deep it'll make you sing. Once upon a time we used to do our thing. Dive in a pool that been closed for years. Skinny dip if you want, baby, have no fear. We're here to teach you a brand new stroke. Fulfillment of a dream is better than coke. There is no doubt and there is no other downtown the slope.
So
It's underwater.
so I was about to say that sound like underwater lyrics.
well, if you look to the right of the screen,
Underwater.
I even put the lyrics here so
Now
everyone
grab
can
on and
see.
hold on tight, cause your molecular structure's gonna be off tonight to a new form of an amphibious kind. So forget your nose,
Okay,
Look at
now
that
leave
beat
it
the
though.
question
behind.
is,
Ain't no need for
what
it. Where
rapper
we going?
voice
Your
was that
Scott
modeled
Heron was
after?
never boring from a guppy to a
We'll
shark
get
to a
into
big
that.
blue whale.
I'm shut it
There won't be
down
time left to
right
even
about
exhale,
here.
cause there's 7 seas on the third rock from the sun. And yeah, you guessed it, we ain't the only ones. Prepare yourself, sons and daughters. But once again, it's underwater.
Okay. Alrighty. So who was it modeled after? A AI. The prompt was, and I know you had mentioned this earlier. The prompt was a soulful um, R&B artist. But the way that these things are set up and how they're trying to avoid all their legal ramifications is, if I said, "Oh, I wanted to sound like Luther Vandross," or "I wanted to sound like Easy E," or immediately it spits it out saying, "No, you can't do that." So here's my take. Where I'm saying where I'm embracing but not embracing fully. You can do a entire song based on prompts, meaning just sit there, type something in, and get very intricate, telling it, well, I want it to sound like this person. And then it'll spit it out. Will say, okay, I want someone that can do an operatic verse here. You can get that deep with it, but and you can even have it write the song for you. My thing where I can go to sleep at night and I'm not really losing any sleep over this. These are my original lyrics, right? This is what I wrote. These words I didn't say algorithm go ahead AI learning machine and write the song for me. But what I did do is say I wanted to make it with the music side of it. I wanted to consider them session players. Have back in the day when Motown was jumping, you would have some hardcore session players that can play anything. And where I see a lot of folks that get upset about this is it's as though that they're taking musicians' jobs. Well, to one degree or several degrees, I do understand that, but at the same time, I see that the technology is opening up doors for some of those, number one, that can't afford those session players. Number two, the convenience of being able to have, if you have an idea and you want to build on something, you can. And I'm going to pull the plug right there because I really want to get more so in the history of the evolution of it. I just want to jump in literally into the water, underwater, to kind of show where it has gone and where it can be and what's up ahead for us, right? So
Okay, about where you were talking about, I asked you where what what rapper did you model that the voice after and all that?
yeah.
Um, I know that you can't put a name per se, like because it has been through all the controversy they made it so that yeah you can't just put an artist's name. Uh, However, you can use like I guess in the vein of or the type of styles that they use as a as a prompt, and it will get it, however close to the description of the artist you can get, then you may end up getting that sound.
Mm,
However, since what you said about you used your lyrics, that's cool.
mm. Oh,
But
oh,
but
oh.
but
But oh, okay, comes the
see,
but.
here's the but. Here's the but.
But the
Your
but,
lyrics were
but and
original.
face, but
Your
but and
your
face. Come on,
your lyrics were original or
correct.
are original.
Yes.
And the AI machine has yet to recognize that, right? As but once other people hear what you've done, at some point they can prompt it to mimic that or those lyrics because it'll be generating into that machine over time and it'll be learning that. But that's not what I wanted to get into about that. Your
Okay.
lyrics are original, yes. However, the style of the samples or the beats that it put together
Mm-hmm.
and the rapper on there,
Mm-hmm.
that machine has taken from all of those artists that produced in that type of way.
Mm-hmm.
So that since you can't put a name in there, it's gonna scour around for that type of style or
Mm-hmm.
arrangement and
Mm-hmm.
da 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 da. So there's still that slippery slope. Even though your lyrics are original, the production, the sound, the beats, the arrangements, and all of that are mimicked through scouring all of the music that's out there, all the music and production styles that has been fed into that machine that the machine has learned. So
Okay.
there's the slippery slope
Okay.
that we
So
talk about.
so we
And
gonna
if you're one of those artists,
okay.
I ain't talking about Timberland, and I ain't talking about anyone that's making real money off of doing it. I'm talking about the small artists who really can't get off the ground because he can't get any endorsements or somebody with money to back him, or he's not doing something nefarious to get his money to put himself out there. I'm
Sounds
talking
familiar.
about those
So,
kind of artists
uh-huh.
that, yeah, their stuff gets out there. And then you have people that have the ability to like say, oh, we saw this little artist stuff over here. It sounded pretty good, but you know what? He ain't got no money. He ain't going nowhere. But I like what he was doing, and I'm gonna go check it out and make sure it's see if it's copywritten or not. So I got the money to do that. I'm
Oh,
gonna see if he got it branded. I'm gonna see if he has the trademark. Oh, he doesn't? Well, guess what? Nobody knows who he is, and I'm working on some new material. So guess what?
they're gonna take it.
I'm going to incorporate what I heard,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna use my brain, my organic brain, and I'm going to filter it out naturally and give my interpretation of what I heard.
Okay.
So that's what the machine is doing also. But the fact is, you know, it's just that slippery slope that it's being taken from other artists' work. And I honestly, truly, honestly believe that the artists wouldn't really be tripping if they were properly credited and compensated for what is being translated by this machine.
And being used. All right,
Yes.
can I slip on that slope with you for a little bit? Because thank you. It's like we rehearsed this or something. So uh, I want you to put on your remember when hat when people started using other people's music. It was the wild, wild west. It was so wild that, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll throw up a disclaimer that uh, what's my man? Not Biggie. Good God, come on! I'm gonna have to edit this out.
I
Uh,
don't edit.
yeah, we gonna edit. Uh, uh, you know, uh, you
Puffy.
you got what I
Oh,
need.
Biz Marquee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Back when
Okay,
we
but you
worked,
know
wait,
what?
hold on,
Go, yeah,
tone.
go ahead.
I let you slip and slide. Let me slide just a
Go
little
ahead.
bit.
Go ahead.
A a a record company, MCA, RCA, whatever, gigantic, bigger company that got more dollars than we can imagine, put an entire album out without getting all samples cleared first. Do you remember that, sir?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay. So that was the Wild Wild West. I see us right now in 2025 with the evolution of AI music is the Wild Wild West based on exactly what you just said. People aren't being compensated for like work, not just the work, but likeness of work. So that tells me the legal side of it has to get deeper than where it is right now. You cannot just take a likeness without someone saying, "Oh man, you sounding just like Biggie. You sounding just like Pac, man. Matter of fact, you sound like you even got Pac's voice on that. What are you doing?" It has to change to the point that we get beyond all samples cleared. Now we even have to get to the point of all likenesses cleared. And that's what I was saying. I agree with you on that. That's why I'm not embracing it wholeheartedly, but I don't want to be left behind in the evolution because it has changed over the 60 years that I've been on this planet from a mellotron just taking tapes and really sampling, but it was on tapes. When you hit the button, it started to play those violins that are so iconic from the Beatles, Strawberry Fields, and that was the first form to me, the first form of sampling. And then came the Fairlight, and it got
We all
really
remember that.
deep. It got deep. Those things sold for the cheapest one was $60,000. The average price was 100 grand because they made each one individually and didn't really have robots building them on an assembly line. But that Fairlight said, forget the tape. We're going to use, wait for it, a computer.
Okay. However, let's go
Oh,
back
okay.
to
Okay. You want me to see? I got a
no,
long
no,
way. I
no.
got a long way to go to where we at now. But okay, I'll pause right there on the Fairlight because the Fairlight started using voices of people. For example, she blinded me with science. Science.
Yeah, it was sampling.
Oh,
But I'm talking about
okay.
where you went back to it being the wild wild west,
Mm-hmm.
and uh that's why I like to respond in the moment.
Okay.
Cause
Well,
I
cut me off next time, then, man. I don't care.
well nah, you was on one. I
I was
could I could let that go
like, I ain't
because
cut that fool off. He gonna get
I was
mad.
in school. I was in the classroom on that one. So you
Okay.
know,
All right. Go ahead,
but
man. Go ahead.
but it's like, you know, yeah, okay, yeah, I think it was the Biz Marquee and the all samples clear not being cleared. Okay. Well, see, back then, nobody knew. Number one, nobody knew hip hop was gonna be what it is. And then number two,
Absolutely.
and then check it out.
Point. Yes.
But hold on. Number two, they could have, for all we know, they they the people with the money did had to have known something.
Man,
Because
they
hold
were
on,
taking
no,
the
no,
fifth,
no,
but go
no,
ahead.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Because look, listen. in all of the other sounds, music that had been sampled up until that time, all the James Brown samples, all of the obscure soul records samples, and the old like disco beats, bongo band, and all all of them. Okay, the Biz Marquee song made noise because it was popular classical artists.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where that
Yes.
came in,
But
and
more people were
the
listening now
and the it's not that they were just listening; it was just
and wanting to get paid.
you had some major that was some major money players there, and now their song is being sampled and looped, and somebody's making money off of it other than them. Now it
Right.
was cool. It was cool when it was the artist, and I'm gonna say this.
Uh-oh.
It was cool when it was the black artists who didn't own their publishing or their copyrights to their music or the rights, the extreme, the explicit rights, sync rights, or whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
They didn't have no
It, it,
power over their music because it was either signed over or they was duped into some kind of contract or whatever.
it, it was cool
It was
while it was
fine
it was
then.
cool while it was black on black
It was cool
robbery
when
of music.
it was it was cool when it was the people that didn't have any money to fight it. I'll put it that way.
Okay, right.
But then when you hit that one, oh, okay, now we gotta oh now they coming that up. Oh no,
You
now
don't
so
went too
now
far.
now the game got to change.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
then you notice from there it started you know coming down to the artists that did have their publishing
Right.
when they heard their stuff being sampled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, well in the copyrights when you fill out your copyrights it asks you, does this work contain any like a derivative of a work that's already been published or copywritten?
Absolutely.
And if you say yes, it's going to ask you for who is that publishing or copyright,
And
and
what
what's
portion
the
and the length and
account
everything.
number or
Yep.
whatever it is,
Yep.
and do you have written permission to do that?
Number one, do you have permission to use it?
It okay. So and see that's what I'm saying. So
Okay.
hear me out though.
Come on, man.
Okay,
Come on
so
with it.
when you don't have money, it don't matter. Okay, uh, some people can, some artists didn't know it. We called it the guerrilla style. We just gonna sample it and put it out there.
And
We
see
didn't
what
know it was
happens.
gonna
Yep.
blow up.
Right.
Now that it blew up, the publisher, whoever owns the publishing of that
Mhm.
song we just used, now they want to get paid. They want to know how come our name wasn't put on there, or how come no one asked us for permission. Okay, look,
Right.
I'm a poor guy. I didn't know how to contact you. I didn't know that my song was gonna blow up and do what it's doing or do what it did. And if I knew how to contact you, if I had the means to do that, I would have done that. But now that it's gotten to that point, maybe we can negotiate something now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
then you have the artists that were sampling that, but they was, you know, like one of our mentors said, yeah, I'm down with y'all using my music, but I ain't down with the drive by and a woman getting shot by mistake, pregnant woman getting shot by mistake. Okay, so now you have people sampling music, but putting explicit material over it that the original
Uh,
publishing
yeah,
person that
the
owns
artist
it.
didn't intend for it. Right. Yeah. They didn't want
Yeah.
yeah,
So
they don't want
okay,
to be
and
associated with it. Right.
yeah, and then they have the right to that. That's why it's called copyright. I have the
Okay.
right to copy my stuff and give permission or deny permission to anyone who else wants to use or have a derivative of my work. That's copyright. Okay, so some people started seeing money. And I know you remember one dude we ran into at the Guitar Center. Uh, remember? He was one of those artists that was charging, I think it was 5,000 or it was more per sample or per use of the sample. And then he may have wanted like points or something off of that. And I know they wanted, you had to include their name as a writer on the song.
Right, right.
The person I'm talking about, you don't remember the Guitar Center?
Yeah, of course I do, man. You always have
Me,
to do.
you,
I
and
remember,
Ill.
yeah. And he grabbed my head at the end because I was like, man, we need you to come over to the house so we can record
Yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
We'll, we'll
Okay.
we'll leave him nameless for right now. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so that's the thing where eventually it got worked out. Okay. To make the long
right.
story
So
short,
okay,
eventually all of that copyright and permission stuff got worked out.
okay,
And when you look at what's going on with the AI
oh,
stuff, it's like,
okay.
why, it's so easy. A lot of artists already know what needs to be done. Just give the proper credit and the compensation and, the this and the that to what's going on. So, but the industry wants to act like, oh, we don't know what to do. No, we saw it with sampling. It's so simple. You know what to do.
Okay. And that's
If we
and I'm
didn't ask
agreeing with that.
permission, if we didn't ask permission up front, but we put it out there, it got put out there, and it made some noise, got your attention, and it's making money. Let's negotiate something.
Okay, and that's
If you don't,
yeah.
if you don't like it, want to pull it, okay, fine, pull it. Let's pull it. Everybody else that already got it now, it's a collector's item. It's out there and it's already done. But I'm sure if it was making enough money, it would have been settled. But for something that wasn't doing too well, just like any business, if it's not selling, we gotta pull it. We can't carry it no more.
Well,
Okay.
okay. So let me jump in too, Tom. So two sides of that. Some of the stuff was blasting off, and like I said, with the Wild Wild West being in effect, it was money to be made for to try to keep everybody in check. After sampling got corralled and lawyers started coming in and folks started saying, hey, that's my stuff, you can use it. Okay, that's my stuff, you can't use it. I noticed that a lot of quote unquote hip hop artists and just artists in general got back to playing some original music. So I see that as twofold for that segment because I know on one of our other episodes we were talking about how things got stuck in a loop literally. But before we get too stuck on the sample side, I had left off on the Fairlight how it was using, and I'm just talking about on the technological side of things, uh, using a recorded voice and also using a recorded orchestra. And
So it was a precursor to sampling.
it was the
And the
precursor to
best
sample. But
example,
but 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 us. But hold on. Let me rock for a minute. But we couldn't afford that. We couldn't afford nothing like that until this little thing by Casio came out called the the SK1. That
mhm,
little thing could only sample for 1 second, but folks like me and you figured out how to use that 1 second and make it work for us. And then the evolution of that went to the beautiful thing called the Roland
S10.
S10. Wow.
Mm.
Wow. It
And that
took,
gave you what, four
it gave
seconds
you 4 seconds of sampling. So
or
you could,
8 seconds at a
at,
lower rate.
at lo-fi quality. Man, that thing opened up the doors. It cost like $249 back then. That opened up the doors to something that cost $60,000 just 2 years prior. So the evolution started moving faster. Is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, okay, and it became cheaper because some people saw it as a toy, but some people saw it like, oh, wait a minute. We can work with this. Matter of fact, that 12 gauge in the hit squad thing, S10, all because all of those samples and stuff that was in there, that was S10 being just used to the ultimate 8 or either 4 second limit. So from the S10, things started to change it all again because you had uh, the quality of stuff starting to be better at a cheaper price. So getting back to the sampling side of things, sampling had became a part of the norm, and which it is still to this day. But
So
moving
much,
forward,
but
moving forward, you always want to give credit when it's due. I mean, you had touched on that. That's what back in 1995, and I don't know if you can see this picture behind me, saying Eula Music Recording Studios ASCAP member since 1995. So for the past 30 years, I understand. You know, never had the big number one hit wonder, but you always want to cover yourself as an artist on something that you put out. So um, where I'm trying to go with it back fast forwarding from the sampling to the AI. If you let it run amok and just do everything, man, it'll be such a long line of people standing up saying, "That's me, that's my stuff, that's stuff." But if you corral it, like I said, and kind of get it under control instead of letting it control you and your music, I see some promise in it. But I also see a lot of like with any technology, people can use it or abuse it. We were talking off camera how some of these AI generated jams, man, are just downright nasty to where they're saying some stuff that whoever they modeled that engine after, it they wouldn't approve of it. So that's the dirty side, and that's why I say even to this day, it still needs to be corralled and people need to get their just due for likeness. Eh,
well, it's not gonna be corralled, and this is where I equate it with sampling. It's not going to be, as you say, in control. Like they're not gonna corral it yet because there's too much money being made on the rogueness of it.
mm,
This is like sampling. People made the money before they decided to, okay, this is what the legal aspects and ramifications are going to be from this day forward. They milked it first. Then those that accumulated their wealth with that became gatekeepers, so to speak, of sampling. Now it's like, oh, well, I can't afford to sample that now because I don't have $30,000 to pay this artist beforehand just to even, you know, sit there and wait for
yeah,
him
try to
to,
get the project out there, and
yeah.
if you don't
And
have the
then,
money, yeah, I get it.
yeah, and
I
then,
get it.
some of them is like, then you get into like, I believe it was Smith and Wesson that used Steely Dan, where Steely Dan wasn't didn't appreciate that, and it turned in their favor where they got all the money off of it.
Right.
But it's just the fact that with AI, it's like you said, while it's in the wild wild west stage, it's rogue. Everybody's gonna get what they can out of it, and may the best man win.
Yeah, and
Strong will survive out of it.
what
But
and here. Oh, go ahead.
once just like the real wild wild west, once those who were killed and those who were left standing, when the ones that were left standing that were doing a lot of killing had enough because they knew somebody was going to eventually come for them, that's when it started. Okay, this is how it's going to be now. Enough is enough. If you're going to do this, this is the law for that now.
And let me slide in real quick because I'm just checking our little time here. So, uh, and that has happened. Spotify, there were some people that were putting out like 10,000 AI generated songs. I'll put a little thing up on when the editing hits the floor. Uh, People were doing exactly that and killing it on Spotify. just killing it, making thousands of dollars in streams. And you know a stream don't pay you nothing. So if they're making thousands of dollars off of this AI generated stuff where all they did was just tap a button and said, okay, make it sound like this, sound like that. Okay, boom. That's wrong. I'm going to say that that's wrong. And they have been taken down. So there are some, but it's still in the infant stages of the policing of it. And that's where it's going to have to take a turn and even weed out even more. So if you're making more money on Spotify than a bona fide artist that is truly putting in the work, that has to change. That is, or either the industry will implode on itself. So
It's already has done that.
it's done that, and that's what I'm saying. And people have gotten busted doing that. There are some folks that have done that and
Well,
gotten
yeah, with the
busted.
Drake situation, UMG, and not with the Kendrick lawsuit, but before that, when uh they used, I think it was Drake when he used Pac's voice on some stuff,
Yeah, yeah,
or
and they had to shut. They shut it and see,
yeah.
and that's the and wait a
But
minute,
now
that
listen,
that
it
that's the
was a
high
major. He was on
profile.
a major
That's
label,
what I'm
and they
saying.
let,
Right.
but the major label allowed that to happen. Now, for
Bingo. Right.
them being on a major label, the major label should have been like, you know what? Nah, we're not gonna do that because the
They
laws is fuzzy, and
they
that's
wanted
what
to
I
see.
mean by
That's what they wanted to see what was
there.
going to
That's
happen.
why I'm feeling like, yeah, them they know they just getting the money, and then when they get enough money, when enough money is uh in their accounts to where they're seen or have by attrition have become the the king or whatever of that. Now let's close up the gate. Now let's close it off, and this is the law to do it now. That's it's the same thing, man.
Okay.
With sampling,
Bingo.
they're gonna do that, man, because it's so simple. All you just do this with the publishing, the AI, whatever it's learning, that's putting it in its database. It needs to also include the metadata of what it's learning so that that information from where it is pulling from will be attached to the work that's being used within somebody's AI rendering or whatever you want to call it.
All right, stay tuned, y'all. We coming back with some more right after this. And we're back, y'all. Thanks for sticking with us. We're just gonna keep it rolling. Um, Tone, you was going deep with the metadata side of the AI, artificial learning, machine learning, making sure that it shows that, hey, we're modeling after X, we're modeling after Y, we're modeling after Z. Um, I just want to throw 2 cents at you on that. It's two. When I did my project, it was two major companies involved. One was called Suno, and the other's called Udio, like studio, but just Udio,
Which
and
both have been involved in lawsuits.
going to continue to be because
Exactly.
they continue to stand on the grounds that they're not taking anything, but they are. We know
Of
it,
course
and
they are.
and it's going to have to change to the point to where to make it right for everybody is like you said with the metadata being used to say it was learned from this, it was learned from that, and until that happens, we are going to have these continuous lawsuits coming. But in the meantime, and in between time, I got something I want to share for you. While all of them are still trying to figure this out, I took some more original lyrics from off the from something that I did that is copywritten and published and everything. But I wanted to see what it would sound like if I totally flipped it from something. This was truly a creative venture. If as you will, something that PTFI would never get down this way. So I wanted to try it to see what it would do if I did it this way.
Now,
So,
before you play it,
mhm.
because I know I'm gonna forget this question.
Oh, go ahead.
When do you have to let it be known that this was done with AI generators or not? Because I notice out there a lot of stuff. If you're gonna use AI in this material that you put out there online, it has to denote that saying that yes, this was used with this AI, blah 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 blah.
Uh, I did not see anything when I did that, but sure, especially when it comes to images. And I wanted us to kind of morph into that because we've been really just circling around with the music
Yeah, because
thing.
I could see the cover was generated through AI also.
The cover, yes.
Yeah.
And then check this out. I don't know if you can, hear this, but let me make sure I got my settings right because we on the other side of things. Yep, it's looking right. So I ain't gonna play the whole thing, but I know this is a trip. And as you can see, the lyrics on the right side, written by PTFI.
Like Christina Aguilera around.
Rolling with my brothers, ain't never scared to bring it. Second coming, not the one you gotta jump on board if you wanna get some. Still funkin' and independent. Rolling with my brothers, ain't never scared to bring it. Second coming, not the one you gotta jump on board if you wanna get some. Still funkin' and independent. Rolling with my brothers, ain't never scared to bring it.
It's a trip.
Where I come from, your future's in my past. A delusional illusion designed to make you gasp. Is everybody blind and just can't see? Not everybody, maybe it's just me. It's so deep we can no longer sink. Stopped in the tracks of doing our thing. Placed in a state of sonotic Nickelodeon. Never kept up with the Kardashian. Not so innocent, but guilty of the sin. Fell into the trap where the Milky Way is. You don't need a telescope, figure this one out. Search within yourself, no need to shout. I can hear you loud and clear, but I gotta be tuned in to feel you, my dear. You're on a strange frequency, can I decode it? I don't know if I can decipher it, but I definitely know this. Second coming of the one you gotta jump on board if you still funkin' and independent. Rolling with my brothers, ain't never scared to bring it. Second coming of the one you gotta jump on board if you still funkin' and independent. Rolling with my brothers, ain't never scared to bring it. Electro hypnotic bum music, another shade of
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it right there. I really just want to hear somebody say electro hypnotic bump music.
Now, in all honesty, it sounds good. That's a hit. I can hear that on the radio. I
Okay.
can hear that,
Well, thank you, brother.
and you know, but as a critical person
Yeah,
that
be
I am, I
critical.
can be
Yeah,
too critical.
you got to.
Um, you don't have to be, but
Yeah, you do.
I
You would.
choose to
You
be.
wouldn't. Yeah, you
But
wouldn't be if you
but
wasn't me.
you know, for somebody like me or yourself and other people that are not, and I'm not just talking about musicians that read and all of that. I'm talking about the ear.
Mm.
People that have an ear that can hear what's going on. I can tell I'm getting better at being able to tell an AI generated song from a regular song put together.
Right.
um, because and it's getting the AI is getting a lot better. That's the scary part. But um, when you listen to the voicings, you can
Hmm.
kind of hear some kind of off key, but it gets fixed real quick. And
It's
then the
it's like auto tune on steroids, dude.
yeah, and
That's what it
I mean,
is.
but I'm just saying because it's like I guess it's piecing the information together.
Correct.
So, but to the average listener, man, they're not looking and
Oh
listening out
no.
for all
Oh
of
no.
that,
Oh
and
no.
that's what I'm saying. So it kind of fit. All of this kind of fits into the category of you know when they say, I guess God protects babies and fools.
Hmm.
So like if you don't know what you don't know won't hurt you,
Yeah,
but if you
to a
know,
certain degree. Yeah.
but when you know, there's all kind of
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you know something,
Well, let me throw this out there. I ain't trying to fool nobody on this stuff.
I'm not I'm
No,
not
no, no, I know you're not going there with it, and I'm just saying that's why I named it the AI remixes. This is not a PTFI original, right?
right,
I didn't put my stamp on it like I do saying this is a sound advisory that contains electro hypnotic bump music.
right,
I did that on purpose, right? So my true folks know that, oh, okay, he doing some remix stuff here. And that's all it is to me. It's a remix. It's not the original. But like you said, with some folks out here, they're using it as if it was the original. And that's where that slope gets even slipperier. And it, you got to be able to go to sleep at night, man, and kind of have a good conscious.
some people,
Wait a minute. In my world, I,
some
but now my neighbors or somebody else, maybe they can go to sleep
but
and
see that's
make
the
10,000
thing.
versions, and that could be, and that
That's
is the
the
problem.
thing. That's the thing. The way you looking at it, when people hearing it, their perception is gonna be what they perceive.
Correct.
They ain't
Correct.
gonna care about what your intent was when you
Hmm.
did it. All they tripping on is like if the song sounds good or not,
Right.
if it makes them feel a certain way or not.
Right.
If it makes them, if they like it, they gonna bump it. They're not gonna care.
Right.
It's just like when we, you know, had the honor and privilege of working with all of our mentors,
Right.
right?
Right.
Then that cliche came in. Never work with your idols or your
Wait,
mentors
you'll be
because
disappointed.
you gonna see this side of things, and if you ain't ready,
Yeah, ready or
and
not, here
it's
we
like
come, y'all. Yeah, yeah.
and then when I've been in a few situations, I kind of
You
told
saw
myself I backed off. I said, you know what, I need to go back to being a fan. I didn't sign up for, I didn't, you know, I wasn't tripping on what I may have, I may have tripped on what it took to put the song together, but I
Mhm.
wasn't really thinking on the level of what was uh on a deep level. Because on a surface level, I would be thinking, I wonder what Eddie or the guitar player was thinking. Eddie Hazel or Eddie Van Halen. I'm wondering what they was thinking when they was playing that riff or when they came up with that lick or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I wasn't going deeper into like what kind of fallout did he have with David Lee Roth or something like that before they recorded it or after, and then when it was mixed. I wasn't tripping that deep, but you know, and you shouldn't really. You really shouldn't. I think all of that's privy to who was all in the mix of what's being done within that, you know, their circle. Now, as a fan or someone that was listening to the music, you're not really tripping on that, all of that. You just tripping on, oh man, this just the jam right here. This the one, that this one got me through eighth grade. This one got me through my difficulties with the family. This one got me through blah 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 blah. This was my riding music, stuff like that. And
Hmm.
that what you just played can fit in any one of those categories for any one of the listeners that hears that. And they're
Hmm.
not, especially when you get into older, your older audience listening and younger people listening. Because this is what I think older people tend to forget because we went through it with our parents when we were coming up with our own style of music and what we listened to. It's like there was always that older person telling you, "Oh, y'all, that ain't music. This is music." And they put on one of them old soul records or one of them old blues records or old jazz records and say, "Now this is music. This is what y'all. I don't know what y'all doing." But then to us, it was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but excuse me, this is what we're doing right now, though." I appreciate what you grew up on, pops or moms, and I know it. Yeah, I loved all of that, but out of what I grew up listening to, this is what I'm hearing and feeling to do. And this is what's grabbing me. So, but then as we get older and you see in the younger ones, I say like, um, and here's the thing, it's like anyone that's like, if we're in our 20s, we talking about people that were like barely 10 years old. So by the time we get 30 and 40, they 20 and 30, like that, so it's like when we get older, we set in what we was doing. Therefore, now a lot of us tend to shut out any new things coming in because we're tripping on the
The way
older stuff
the
that
way it used to be
influenced us,
for us,
and
right?
now we're doing what influenced us, and we shutting out any new stuff coming from people younger that they may be listening to you.
It's a cycle, man. That's every generation goes through this, and it's good that
Exactly.
here's the difference. Me and you realize that some generations and people don't realize that it's either my way or the highway, and I'm going to bring it all the way back around to this AI thing. So this dude says, AI is coming for your jobs, right? And I'm like, okay, who is this dude? Let me figure out what's going on. How can you even say that, right? I don't like anyone to be fear mongering, saying all this stuff, right? So I did my
Well,
little.
it
What?
is a
Well, hold on, man.
legitimate.
So what? Let me get there, brother. Uh, he's actually the CEO of a thing called Fiverr, and I've used them in the past. Fiverr is truly like a group of freelancers that can do help you with your promotions or advertisement for really low price. So they were undercutting the big dogs. So
Reminds me of Craigslist.
it, just just a digital version, correct?
Exactly.
So So I said, let me see what he sent this. No, this I got the wrong one up. He sent this email to his entire staff of people. He says it doesn't matter if you're a programmer, designer, product manager, data scientist, lawyer, customer service rep, salesperson, or finance person. AI is coming for you. Okay, I'm like, well, you're saying that. So what do you, if you're gonna send that out, don't just be doom and gloom. What can you tell your people to do to prepare for this if it's
You
coming?
know what? He just did.
Yeah, he did. He
He
gave him
just
the heads
told
up.
me.
And then
Yeah,
this is
he told you. He's telling you.
mhm.
Yeah. AI, you working for me, AI is coming for your job.
Yeah.
So if you read between the lines of that, a smart thinking, critical thinking person would be like, you know what? I've already been trying to look for another job
Uh,
anyway.
So
I
so
need to I need I need to get I need to get more, I need to get on it
so he
because
says,
and other
oh,
people are looking at it like, oh, he just tripping. Oh, nah, they ain't coming for my job because blah 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 blah. Nah, they still need people for this, and that. Yeah, okay.
They
I
do.
mean,
Yep.
the man just told you
Yeah, so
AI is coming for your job.
but
So now
he's
it might
yeah
not come for everybody else's job, but
for
and I've
them.
always
Yeah.
felt like that any company or corporation or business that any of their like high up management or something is saying that constantly, then to me that's writing on the wall that they're letting you know subtly, I mean, not so subtly. They're letting you know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we switching over to AI, and
My older sister told me with this old saying, when somebody tell you who they are, believe it.
exactly
Believe it.
exactly.
So, but what I do like on the flip side, he did say, well, this is what you could do: study, research, and master AI solutions in your field. My
But
field.
now,
Wait, wait. Let
but
me get it. Let me get it
he
out,
didn't
man.
include that in that first email though.
Yeah, it was for this report. This is what he said. What he told his people: become a prompt engineer. We were talking about how 10,000 songs can be made with AI by just typing in a couple of words and all this. He's saying, don't be the prompt putter. Learn how to engineer those prompts. Then he also said, get involved in making your organization more efficient using AI. So those are three bullets, but that's way easier said than done. So
Yeah, because
I don't necessarily become I don't want to become a master in it, right? Because music is my field now. I'm retired. This is what I do. And I do it because I love it, right? But I don't need to become a master. But for someone who that where their bread and butter is based on doing studio sessions, based on doing voiceovers, based on doing all this stuff where AI is just really in its infant stages and it's growing. Be aware that there's competition for what you're doing, right? Be aware of that competition. Then they call it AI and it's artificial, but that stuff ain't artificial when it starts taking jobs. It's real. It's touching real human lives now. So it's I call it real intelligence because that thing is forever learning and not saying I'm just going to be satisfied with what I got and say F it, right? So uh that's what I had on that dude, man. It was a couple other things.
yeah, but
Go ahead.
it's just like writing on the wall though. It's like, because we've gotten to the point where people jobs don't call you in to fire you no more. You open up your email at job, or you go to work and find out you can't access anything anymore.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
Absolutely. Yes.
and we've always known, we've already been groomed on all the movies since we were kids on all of these things saying what's coming, like Star Trek with the communicator, which was the flip phone, which is now the phone with the computer in it, and the Jetsons and all of this, order your food, here it comes down the chute, blah 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 blah. We've already been taught at a young age what was coming, and some of us, I remember specifically at Westlake, some of us were encouraged to get into computers, and some of us were discouraged. And the discouragement came from either some teachers or from some family members or peer pressure. And, it's like, okay, well, what was the biggest computer company back then? IBM.
Oh yeah,
And
IBM.
that was
Yep.
back when computers filled up the whole room. Now look at it. Does it fit in your hand?
Absolutely.
The chip is, you know, so it's just like it's inevitable, man. Change is inevitable,
Y- y-
and
Yeah.
we've always been had that looming over our heads of this is going to replace your job. The industrial age. Look how many look how many people got put out of work from automation.
Right.
The farmers, the tractor. Look what that did to you know what I'm saying? Look what the horse did. Look what the car did to people that had horses.
So
And
I,
and
I
so on and
agree
so on.
1,000,000%.
So
Let me
the
drop one
thing
on you.
is,
Oh, go
and
ahead.
my
Go ahead.
favorite part when you get into music is uh one of my, favorite groups to listen to. That's gonna be another show, our favorite groups.
Yeah,
But
that's number
one
6. Yes.
one of my favorite groups to listen to, Pink Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
had went through that same uh problem with a lot of their fans when they started using the electronic
Mm-hmm.
synthesizers and more effects on the guitar. Like,
Synthesizer.
oh, you guys are using the electronics. Oh, that's not really you playing and coming up with
Mm-hmm.
them sounds. That's the deal. It's like, and even with Bernie Worrell, the great Dr. George Bernie Worrell. Okay, he embraced the same thing. It's like
The
you,
synthesizer. Yes.
yeah, whenever you get some new equipment, it's like Bernie would always say, use the equipment, don't let it use you.
Oh man. That
You
sounds
know, and
familiar, doesn't
and
it?
you do. And it's same with Pink Floyd. It's like, yeah, we're using all those new gadgets, but we're putting the stuff into that which comes from us, that
There you
comes
go.
out of that. So,
Bingo.
it's not like we just, like we can get into the DJing where you just push the sync button and it does all
Mm-hmm.
that. You ain't got a beat match, but at the same time, sometimes there's a need for that sync button.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say, let's just say you're in the middle of a mix. Here comes that drunk person with their drinks, wants to request something, and, and they don't
DJ,
know how to cut,
please.
and they don't know how to cut the conversation off.
I'm on the request line.
Yeah, and they don't know how to cut the conversation off about don't bother the DJ when they're in the mix. Okay, so
The sync button will help
you
out
might
just
need that
fine right
sync
there. There
button.
you
Yeah, you
go.
might need that
Yeah,
sync button
there
to
you go.
handle what you're doing to deal with it. But I mean, if you're gonna be sync button all night, that's something else. But
Uh,
that's all I'm saying. So it's like, and ever since I've known you, whatever was out there, whether it's a pedal or software or whatever, you've always embraced it and not let it take control of you.
man,
You see
right
what I'm
on.
saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
you
and just
got
like
to.
what you did with
Yeah,
the AI remixes. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
right, right.
But now,
I,
when you get that
I wait,
nefarious minded person,
wait. I could have hit the sync button and just said, "Yep, look what I sunk up." But no, man. It,
see,
and I
but
get it.
when you get that,
Yeah,
when you get that
yeah.
nefarious person,
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, have you seen the deep fakes
Man,
out there?
I got something for you. I got one more for you before we go, and it's something that people are only going to be able to see on this thing right here. We're gonna say that towards the end because I am not going to put this out, but we'll get to that. So the deep fakes are deep, and they're deeper than deep. You got little babies looking like Donald J, number 47, doing his thing. I mean, you got folks, little babies looking like Dave Chappelle. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and it's funny. But the deep fakes where you got someone to bring them down. And if it's a political season and we're trying to make it
Yeah,
sound like they're drunk when they're really not drunk, that and what I really feel for, man, is those that cannot tell the difference. Like you said earlier, man, I can tell from how the tuning is on the vocals. Man, I could tell on the drums of all their stuff. It sounds like they're down a hallway, right? And not really. It's I. Me and you are dialed in. A lot of people aren't. So what we're trying to do here is also have fun, but also educate folks to always take a second look. Take a look around you. Take a second look because it may not be exactly what you think it really truly is.
Nothing is ever really what it seems.
Hey,
Nothing.
let me share this one last thing, man. And I think this would be a good one to fade us out on because knowing the algorithm, he might say, hey, man, no. But yeah, definitely episode 6. I want us to get into our favorite bands and stuff. That's going to be a really good, a fun one, man. So I look forward to that. Um, One thing with AI, how we're just tiptoeing around the music, the video with the deep fakes. That's not next. That is happening now.
Yes,
But
all the AI generated videos.
and then what's coming after? See, I'm always trying to look even past. It's this quantum theory that is about to touch down, dude.
You know what's coming.
And
You already know what's
it-
coming.
it's already here, right? That's why AI and all of this stuff it's now it's like becoming the norm. The next step would be the quantum side of things. But that's another episode, y'all. We need your support. We need you to hit that subscribe button. We need you to hit the like. And we're not just saying that to try to sound cliche. We want to build this up so that we can keep doing this and be motivated and share all of this good stuff with every one of y'all. I'm gonna share my screen one more time before we bounce, brother, because I see the clock on the wall keeps on ticking.
Listen to the clock on the wall.
Tick 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 tick. I do run a disclaimer on it, even though this isn't available, but it's fun. It's fun with a K. All right, so let's run it.
What we got here?
All right.
It's already good.
Oh man. Oh boy. Wait for it. Who's that supposed to be on the right? T.I. and his grandfather or something? I mean,
I think it was supposed to be you, but it didn't generate right.
oh man.
Supposed to be young you and old you.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me. It's gonna be two more fools that's gonna pop up. Tell me who they supposed to be. All right, here we go.
Pocket shot.
Oh man.
Oh no, was I right? Was I close?
Man, I don't know, man. Oh yeah. So yeah, y'all. We they talking about the Matrix. We beyond the Matrix these days, man. Stuff is
We in it. We all up in the matrix. Ain't no behind nothing. We in it. It's like that movie Tron,
yeah.
where we've been brought into the computer.
We are in the game.
Yeah, that was tight though.
Right on, man.
And see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like anything, when it's used tastefully and it's not used to harm or mislead anyone about something, it's great. It's great. I'm all for that. And
Yeah.
also, like in AI, like when we get past the music about it, like when the medical uses they're
Oh,
getting with AI and stuff like that, and
right.
diagnosing things, and
Yes, sir.
it's great. It's great. But now I'm not gonna sit here and believe that some entities are not using it to decode certain people's DNAs to give it problems.
Oof, oof,
So
oof.
you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's where, like, again, we on that slippery slope. Like, should this have been allowed to even go this far, much less happen? It's just like that just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know. But
man. Well, that gets into my whole theory about why do people when they make these robots, and I'm gonna put this to you, you probably gonna spit it out. When they make a robot, what and what image do they usually make it?
what kind of robot?
Anytime, just when they're building a robot that can walk or
I see
search.
two. I see two kinds.
Okay,
I always see a Japanese one and a white one.
all right.
That's what I always see. And
Oh,
usually the Japanese or Asian version of the robot is usually one of them sex ones.
mm,
You see
okay.
what I'm saying?
All right, so
But the
let me jump in then. So what you went to the details of it, but I'm getting ready to get right to the point. Most humans, when they start making robots, the ones that have the power to do it, they make it in the image of themselves because they have, and this is my personal opinion, people don't have to agree, they have a godlike complex. So I want to, and I don't mean me, if I was them, they're saying, I want to make this so I could show that I created this in my image. And that slippery slope right there can be really dangerous.
yes, it's like the rich people, it's people that have the ability to do these things. The question is, like, if you had the money and power to do that, what would you do?
Yeah.
And I know what I would do. That's why sometimes I reel myself in with things in real life, because I know if I got a hold of certain things, oh man, it'd be over for it'd be over. So I self edit myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna
Bing.
even think
Nope.
about learning that, because
Okay.
oh man, the things I could do if I had, no man, and then you wouldn't even find me, much less know I was the one behind it.
Yeah. All right, man. But yeah, and I think once the powers that be get off their complex, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. We're in for a very interesting ride, man. Because the ride right now, we're still doing this going up, right? So
Yeah, we ain't even
yeah,
came
it's
to the
but yeah,
to the
what
hump to go down.
God,
We ain't,
what is it?
ride ain't even started yet.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. So high you can't wait a minute, help me out. So high you can't get over it. So low
So
you
low
can't
you
get
can't
under.
get
I
up.
mean, yeah, so that's where we're at, man. But we gonna keep it right and tight right here on this station, man, because we ain't gonna get deep, but we'll get deep. We gonna get deep, but we won't get deep. And at the same time, we're gonna have a good time. That's all I'm saying, man. We're gonna bring it all the way back to the one. So,
Get 3 feet deep in an 8 foot pool.
bam.
That's how deep. Okay.
So in parting, y'all, I'm going to say, number one, we'll be black. We will continue to be black and forever be black. And with that being said, we already know that you done already hit the like and the subscribe button. So just stay positive. Every Tuesday, y'all, we are live. We are live in the live chat. So we would love to see you on there and getting down with us, saying what you think of the latest and greatest episode. This one was a whole bunch of fun. What you got in closing there, brother K?
And since you already hit the like and subscribe button, hit the share button.
Mm.
Let a friend know. Tell a
Excellent.
friend.
Excellent. Excellent. And when you see that notify thing come around, hit that button too. So you'll get that reminder when it's going down at 6 o'clock Pacific time and 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you can be live with us. And if you don't make it, that's cool. Check it out and leave a comment in the regular comments. We appreciate that too, y'all. So not gonna say goodbye, just gonna say bye.
Okay, bye.